Stream though, but that's all
I know, it sucks. There's nothing we can do.
Yeah.
Golly, we lost 700 people.
Fix this in the chat.
Well, when you get Bart on here, I think Bart is awesome, man. He's just well, not only you, but he is so real and is full of, he's like of high character and integrity. I can tell, and I already knew that, but
oh yeah, and the thing is too, are we live now? Are we back?
Yeah, we're back.
So we're back on for everybody. We're gonna have to wait a bit to get some people back on here. This is crazy. We had 700 people in the chat, and I guess it was too much to ask for to people to, but well, the screen is messed up too here. I can't. It's not coming up right, Anthony. Okay, so what do I do here? Okay. I need to make this, I can't, where is the, there's like 5 different screens going on here. Okay, thank you. Let's see what the heck's going on. So, somebody make a post in the Paranormal Round Table group that we're back on, that, golly, so we're rolling. It's 702 people in the chat, and it gets swept away.
Yeah, I'm not shocked. I am not, because I've seen this before, especially with your channel. And I think people are messing with you. I really do. I've seen, it happens to you quite a bit, actually.
Yeah, and the internet. I'm right here in the middle of the city. There's no internet problems, so I don't.
Yeah.
Just whenever we start getting too real, something always comes. It seems like it comes and kind of throws the kill switch on it, and
right. It's getting too real, and they gotta throw a wrench in it. Yeah. And I know. I'm almost expected it.
Yeah, and you, like you said, you were on Lance Hightower's show.
Yeah,
Lance has had some issues. I know that. I mean,
oh yeah. He had some issues for a minute, but he's kind of getting his groove back on lately here in the last few months. So, yeah, and my story's been heard before, because I think there's like 38,000 views on his narration of my story, but it's been out on his channel for about 4 years.
Yeah, that was he did a narration, and I can narrate. I've narrated bunches of people's stories. There were several people in the audience, at least a dozen, at the conference that were like, "Yeah, you told my story," and there were probably another, half dozen to a dozen that have been on the show. So that was cool to see all these and get to meet these people face to face. Was really cool at the conference. I really enjoyed that. Yeah, Lance Hightower definitely could be somebody we bring on next time if we do it again.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's really ridiculous too. Like the things that people were saying about the conference was like just so ridiculous. Like I can't even.
There's people so twisted that they're miserable, and that's the only way they know how to operate is to make other lives miserable, and then but like I said, they will never be happy. They won't. People like that, no matter what, nothing's ever enough for them.
Yeah. Because they have an empty hole and they can never fill it, so it's just
and they need Christ, or some spiritual thing, relief that they're not allowing in their heart. They're just not allowing it, or they're letting the devil win.
Yeah, I mean, and they basically, we've been, and I do believe in spiritual attack, and that things go on and on and on, and
yeah, I do too. Don't think that I've ever experienced an attack in that way. I've never had any paranormal thing happen to me, like ghostly or anything. But I know a lot of people that have in my family too, but none with me. The only thing I've ever had odd and strange is this Dogman, that's been anything close to like paranormal.
Yeah. Well, one of the things that I was going to say is, and hopefully people can go back and they may not be in the chat right now, but they'll hopefully come back and be able to watch this because they're going to miss part of this. But like I was telling you, that forest, I think it was Bulgaria. I was saying Austria, but I couldn't remember if that was correct. But these creatures that grabbed that wolf-like creature that they shot, because there was a reason why they shot it too. From what I was reading, it was like I kind of was reading quickly, but it was like it had stalked them. They shot it between two trees, and then it hurt it. But I don't know that it was dead. They don't know that it was dead. It was just dragging him away. Maybe it was wounded. But that would be one story. Now, I had a story years and years and years ago where this guy told me, and I never told this story on any other channels or anything, and I've never told this story because it sounded kind of fantastical, and then the person, we never talked again. And I never heard this person tell this story on any other show. Now, I've had that happen where they're like, you're telling a story that was already told on Supernaturalist channel, or it was told on Brett and Solomon channel. And it's like, okay, people can give you the same story that they gave to someone else. It doesn't, they're not exclusively just to give to you and no one else. It happens. Like me and Josh were talking about that, Josh Lenoki.
Yeah, right. It's pointless to say that because every channel has a different audience and it reaches more people. Just because you've seen it somewhere else, it's not all about you,
Yeah.
That type thing, Well, you think this is all about you or something? I mean, come on. So what? More people will hear it if it gets on different channels.
Yeah, because I had somebody do that. I had told the guy's story. He had gave us his story about this ranch that was adjacent to the Hernandez Ranch, and he had told a story on the Supernaturalist channel. And so when we began telling they were like, we've heard this before, blah, blah, blah. Well, it's like, oh, well, sorry, and and I had somebody say that I didn't tell their story correctly, and it turned out that person takes medication, and so when I had gone to Voldemort and said, hey, this isn't correct, he's like, whatever, nobody cares. But things happen, and so the one story that I was going to tell, and I'm going to bring Bart on, and I was going to get into that. Let me get him on here. Okay. I'm going to just call him on the phone real quick.
Is the stream going yet or not?
Oh, yeah, it is. We're at 210 people, but we lost 500 people, but, oh well. Let me call Bart. And like I said, people can always go back and watch and read, or catch up, Yeah. I don't know why they don't refresh and just go back. I mean, it's not like it's...
Yeah, well...
Hello.
Hey, Barton. This is Wolf.
Hey, Wolf. How you doing, brother?
I'm good, man. I'm good. So I'm on here with Joe. Are you watching the show? We got the live stream back up.
Yeah, I saw him hit the kill switch on you in 700 people in the chat room. That was downright discourteous of somebody.
Yeah. Are we doing
something? Yeah, Joe, how are you doing, man?
Let's see.
Good, bud. Yeah, I'm a buddy.
Skype,
how you doing? I got a friend for life here from the conference.
Yeah, for sure. We all made friends, and it was awesome to hang out with you. I think we were hanging out in Barton's hotel room.
Yeah, we were.
Every night. I can't hear Joe at all. So, Joe, if you say something to me, don't think I'm ignoring you, okay?
Well, yeah, we're trying to figure out a way to get this done here. But you know what? I can.
Everybody hung out in my hotel room for, I guess, for like hours and hours Friday night until about 3 a.m. And then
We might can get
Saturday night
Barton.
we went on and pulled an all-nighter, and everybody hung out until 5 a.m.
Hey, Barton, we're going to try and call you on Skype, brother.
Okay, yeah, okay.
Okay, so hang on. We're just going to see if we can get
We're
this
trying
done.
to do a three-way.
There it is, 270. All right, Barton, we're going to call you back.
Okay.
All right. We did it when we were doing the thing in Serbia, that the Serbian werewolf or whatever.
Yeah,
We
I don't remember what we used.
Yeah. Have you ever heard of that one? Barton, are you there?
Hello? Yeah, I'm here.
What about you, Joe?
Yeah, Bart, you hear me?
Good. You're both
Yeah, I
on.
hear you now. I'm here now, buddy. Great.
Awesome.
Josh, I just want to say
Great.
before you go any further, it's good to see you up in that chair again. You're like Captain Kirk.
Thank you, Barton.
Yeah.
You
That chair
and my
suits you,
brother
brother.
and Ken, y'all's pep talks, and Bettina. Bettina, I was a little bit late getting to the studio. Bless her heart. Bettina was talking to me, and she was firing me up, and my wife and Ann Celine last night. All of the people who just, because I mean, when I was driving back from the conference, Lyle was with me, and Lyle was talking, and he's just an interesting guy to hang out with and talk. And him and Ken kind of both said the same thing. So are you really quitting? Are you gonna, and so I was like, I'm just, just done, And on the way back from Fort Worth to Austin, I rode with Ken because he had hit the wall and he was just tired. And so I rode with him, and
Right.
Ken was asking that question. He was like, what would bring you
You guys
back?
worked your asses off, bro.
We
I'm
did.
telling you, we're
And
grateful for all you did. You worked so hard.
yeah, he asked me
You
what would
pulled
bring
off the
me
one
back.
thing
And
that no one else could.
yeah, well,
Yeah, the one thing no one else could pull off, you did it. So hats off to you, brother.
thank you,
are the
Barton. I
GOAT,
appreciate
for
that.
sure.
What was that?
You're welcome. I said you are the GOAT for sure.
Oh, the goat. Oh, thank you. That's
right.
too kind, the words. But he asked me what would bring me back or keep me in it, and I told him, I said, it would take a lot. And there was a couple things me and him talked about that I'm not, at liberty to talk about. But I said, if you came on my show, Ken, and said that, it'd probably, and so, Ken has tentatively agreed to come on and co-host part-time with me. And you too, Barton. You don't know it yet, but you're going to be coming on and part-time co-hosting with me.
Sure, brother. I've done told you I do whatever I can to help you out, and that's how highly I think of you and your wonderful wife, Miss Nellie. You guys are the salt of the earth.
Yeah, and so what I wanted to say, we were talking about this case here with Joe, and unfortunately we lost so many people, and they're not coming back on too quickly. But dang, that's a shame. We had 700 people in the chat, and it just went out, But
Crazy, yeah.
One of the things I want to say is there were a couple different cases, and now that's why I wanted to bring you on, because we had talked about this earlier and talking about these weird cases. One of them, a person claimed to have actually killed a dogman, and I just kept holding on, hoping that this person would get back in touch with me. But this is the story, and now you can tell me if you think it's real or you think it's not or whatever, but I've never told this story. And I just kept holding on. This person was like, yeah, I'm going to come on. They never did. And so we all just kind of collectively gave up and said, well, I guess it's just not going to happen. Somebody said 660. We actually had 702 people in this chat. So, but anyways, this person said that they were laying in bed, and it was this happened back in the 80s, and it was like, I think they said it was 1984, and it was out in East Texas in the Big Thicket area. And there's a book that was written by Rob Riggs about the Big Thicket and how unusual it was and how haunted it was. And the Big Thicket in East Texas is one of two places in this country that's considered jungle, the other one being in Florida. So it's really, really thick woods around Lake Cato. Is just crazy how thick it is. They can't even penetrate it with satellite. So this person lived on the edge of the thicket and they were laying in bed, and they said that it was him and his wife, and they had the window, and there was the springtime, and it was a nice breeze, and all they had was a screen, and he had a silver, like a letter opener or whatever that had been given to him. And it was just like, it happened to be that he was looking through the mail, and he just laid it there on the side of the bed, and he put the mail down and the headboard and went to sleep. And they had moved their bed to be in position by the window. And this creature, they wake up, and he says he smells, it was such an awful smell that it woke him up. And so when he looked, he sees like this dark outline. It was dark, but by the light of the moon, he could see this wolf-like face or head, whatever. And he was like trying to make out what he was looking at. And he said, dude, it was terrifying. And then it kind of started to growl. And he said that he just instinctively, he jumped up. And when he did, it kind of startled it, and it went back. But then it came back and went through the window and grabbed him by his leg, not by its hand, but by its mouth. But he had his legs wrapped in a blanket, whatever, and it started to pull him, and he just started grabbing stuff. And he said it was by the grace of God that he reached and he grabbed that sword-like letter opener. It was this little small, like made like a sword, and it was something that had been given to him as a gift that somebody had smithed him and made for him. And he claims that he took it and he stuck it in the eye of this thing. Like, he stuck it 2 or 3 times, didn't do anything. He was just kind of hitting the head, and this thing was shaking him back and forth. And when he went up and came back down, it broke his back, according to, it broke some vertebrae in his back from the force of him being flung back and forth. His wife wakes up. She's screaming. She's running, trying to grab the shotgun. He said all he had in the room was a .410, which ain't going to do anything. I mean, you might not even kill a bird with that. And so he said he stuck it in its eye, and then he said this hand kind of like came up and started to pull it out. And when there was no Hollywood like burning of the hand or nothing like that. He said it wasn't anything fantastical, but he said that he had a stray dog that kept coming into his yard that had mange, and that he had shot it with rock salt to try to get it out of the yard so it wouldn't infect his animals. And so his wife goes up to the bed in a moment of courage and point blank blasts this thing in the face with rock salt. And that it backed up and was just like, whatever. And it fell backwards, and when it did, it began to roll around, and it was kind of spinning around, undulating, whatever. And that they saw like a smoke coming off of it, and it got up and started to kind of like, wiggle around, walking all sideways, and it ran and it flipped itself over the barbed wire fence because they lived out in the middle of nowhere. And when it did, it just laid there and hung there. Well, they called the sheriff's department, and all this stuff went on. And this guy said that, when they were sitting there in shock, they were just staring at it, and they were worried that there might be another one, They saw 2 shapes come out of the distance, out of the darkness from what he said was the east side of the property. And they got this creature, and they took it off toward the west. And they grabbed it over the fence, and they drug it away. But they were much smaller than this bigger one. And I asked the question, by the whatever, would it be, what you think it was the pack leader, like an alpha male of these things? And they were like, have no idea. Never seen anything like that before, never heard of anything like that before. But it was silver and a combination of rock salt, and they were pretty sure that it was dead. So I'm here to ask you, what do you think of that? Do you think that's a real story? Do you think that that's something that could possibly be that it really happened? Because, like I said, me and the team and everybody, we had talked, like what is this? And then we were going to wait for this person to come on and tell the story, because they kept saying they were going to tell it, and then they backed out, and then they were like, it. So. I mean, and if it did die, what killed it? Was it the silver, the rock salt, or a combination?
Right. So we don't even really know that it died. Honestly, if they drug it off, and But who am I to call someone else's story, crazy? I have so many of my own that people probably think I'm crazy, but I don't know, Josh. All I know is that these things are out there, and someone needs to put an end to it if they can. And I'm glad Joe did that before it reached in and grabbed him and pulled him out of the truck or something. So the fact that these things, people are coming out now and claiming that they've killed these creatures gives me a little more hope, that they can be killed.
And like I told you, Barton, when we were there at the hotel, I really, really believe that it is very, very dangerous to go out into the woods with just a sword or whatever, because I don't think plain old...
Sure. So I never go out with just a sword, brother. I'm always armed.
Do you have
if
copper
I have
rounds?
to use that gun, I will. I don't know. I don't think I have any copper rounds. I might have to get some after listening to Joe. But I always have a pistol on my side in case, things are going too bad. So I'm never unarmed. I'm thinking that if I can't kill him one way, I'll just do it the other. That's what I'm thinking. But a 10-foot-tall, 1,000-pound creature, that's... Wow,
well, somebody just
huge.
said that they're allergic to copper. Well, this is rose gold, so that proves that I'm not a werewolf because I can put it on my finger and not get all and go,
You're not a wolf, man. You're a lion. You're like a lion up there, Josh.
Well, I felt like a freaking manatee this past weekend with no sleep, and my body was sore, and I didn't get a chance to heal. And then today I woke up and I was like, I feel thin. Like I actually feel and look thinner today, and I was like, wow, I wish I was like that at the conference with them photos. So what I'm going to do, though, is recommit myself to getting fit again, like I was doing before I had the gout in my arm, and just, start posting pictures of my progress.
Great, brother.
I didn't feel good either. I felt really tired. I felt like my blood pressure was high. It was just a lot of work. The conference was a lot of work.
Especially at the end. At the end, by the end of the conference, I was feeling a little ragged too. So, these people are saying all this bull crap lies about the conference. It was a huge success, and I think they took pictures on the breaks. So I'm sitting there signing books. And I'm thinking, okay, in the speaker speaking, I'm thinking, okay, there's a break scheduled. I'll go and get me something to eat or whatever. But as soon as the breaks were called, everyone in the audience almost just descended on the vendors. And they're all at your table, right? So I signed so many books and stayed so busy that Letitia and I, we didn't get to eat hardly at all, just the suppers, right? And I actually lost 5 pounds sitting on my butt signing books. So how is that possible if it was not a success? I felt
thinner once I got home. I can tell you that, yeah.
Right? Letitia lost 3 pounds, I think. It was crazy.
And it was like...
time to eat.
When me and Lyle were coming back with Nellie and Anthony and Tony, we stopped a few times, used the bathroom, and there was just like we were all out of whack. I mean, it was like we don't really. I ate at Panda Express. I don't even eat. I like that kind of food if it's healthier, but Panda Express is not a place I go to, and neither is not for Lyle either. We just kind of like ended up there because it was just we were just so out of whack, But we got lucky because on the way down there we saw these long traffic jams, and on the way back we saw them on the other side, and Lyle was like, "Man, we really lucked out." And me and Ken saw that on the way from Fort Worth to Austin, and we were just like, and Ken was really worried because he didn't want to stay in Austin, but I was trying to get him to stay, and he just wanted to drive back, and I was worried, finally he messaged me and said I made it back to San Antonio, so I was like, folks, I'm going to tell you something. People call Ken and Lyle and Nick and David and Barton and all these people profiteers, and they think that Josh Nocchio and Tony Merkel and me and everybody, we're just rolling in the dough. We're just trying to make all this money off these people. Dude, that is nothing could be further from the truth. And Joe, right. You were at the conference, right, Joe?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I can vouch for that as well because I saw the character of all the vendors there, and they're all of the highest integrity. I can't even, explain how impressed I was with just everybody. Everybody involved. It was just Actually, more than I expected, even though I already knew most of everybody I was going to see. Even beyond my expectations, and you, Bart, as well, are, you know, one that stood out, one of the more than anybody there in that regard. You know, so.
Well, I appreciate you saying that. It was nice to have you hanging out with me.
Yeah.
So we hung out for like, I don't know, 21 hours straight.
I know.
Hanging out with you guys, it was so great, man. You guys were so great.
Everybody sold out too, like their merchandise, like you know, and then those shirts. I knew that, you know. I
lugged a bunch of crap from there that I bought. You know that.
Bunch of crap. Bunch of crap. Oh, it's just.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
I was loaded down with crap, wasn't you, Joe?
Yeah, I was. I had about 10 books and posters, and your description of your Spotsville monster was, I had to have that. You know, I couldn't live without that. Gave that to my sister, you know, because she would like it, so it's her birthday, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But
excellent.
Yeah,
that's great. I'm glad you had such a good time.
These people saying some of. Oh, go ahead,
Friday night that. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Wolf.
Oh no! You go ahead. You guys are guests.
Well, so my wife, everything was over Friday night, and I was just coming in from outside, and I noticed somebody walking out to the truck. But when I got in there, she goes, "Would you go talk to Joe?" I'm like, "Who's Joe? What are you talking about?" She goes, "This big guy just left here, the tall guy." He said he was just standing around. He couldn't really find anybody to talk to. So I was like, "Oh, we can't have that," you know. So I didn't want anybody walking away that felt, you know, like they weren't paid attention to, because I got so many stories, man. Everybody has a story if you just listen. So I ran back out and I saw Joe just leaving. And I'm like, well, I missed him. So the next morning, I told my wife, I said, well, I hope he comes back tomorrow. And there he is, the first thing tomorrow. I said, Joe, just come hang out with me all day. You have plenty of people to talk to, I promise. And it was so great. Wolf, every time I looked up, there was Joe. He had a big smile on his face. Everybody had smiles on their faces. There was no unhappy people in that conference. It was so great to see. It was just like a 400-member family. And I really couldn't believe it. So I've never been a conference type of guy, and I never would have done this one if you hadn't asked me. But it was the greatest thing. My wife and I, Letitia, we can't remember when we had that much fun. It was just fantastic, and thanks for doing that and working so hard. You and Ken, you guys ran yourself ragged. You gave all your stuff away at the end. You just said, hey, come, everybody, anything that you want, just come get it. It's free. So the people that are accusing you of scamming people and price gouging, they're just liars.
Sorry.
And they have their own agenda. But they're sorry excuses for human beings. And I'll tell you what, when they start talking about you and Nellie and Miss Betty, no, I don't like that.
Yeah, and the attacks on Bettina, you know,
right,
you know, and one of them, I'm going to say something. One of them absolutely is completely racially motivated. I guarantee. I mean, I'm not one of these people that's like, oh, I'm gonna. What do you call those people that run around, activists or whatever the heck? I don't have time for that. Right. But this person absolutely has said some really horrible things, and jealousy, just absolutely jealous. You know, and this person had messaged me a while back trying to say something about Bettina. I said, dude, don't try to get, you know, you're not going to turn me against her, okay? And this person was back and forth. And people do that all the time, you know, and this one individual at the conference said something about Ken and Lyle and you know, and I was just like, you know, this... I don't know, dude. You know, you get these people, and then you're just like you're sick and tired of their dribble. You know, it's just all it is. And
right,
you can have 500 people tell the world that this, you know, but these people like to listen to one or two bad people. People will say, well, why do you let it get to you? Because one of these people has been on about a dozen different shows telling his ridiculous stories, and people keep putting him on. And he's been on TV.
Are you talking about the Red Circle guy?
Yeah, he's been on TV. And so that's why, because he can influence people and say a bunch of crap. And he got on there and made a video saying that I threatened him or something with his kid or something. I don't know what he's talking about. That whole thing started because he jumped in there and started talking crap with the guy that was going after Bettina. And I'm just like, dude, these people have no life. I mean, no life at all. Get over it, dude. And then people, I had this guy message me one day, and then it was so funny. And this is funny because he was like, well, what makes you so special, Josh Turner? And I'm like, didn't know I was. And you think you're better than anybody else? I'm like, no, I just do what I do. And if other people decide that they think I'm good at what I'm doing or that I'm better than someone else, then that's their opinion. That's their choice to believe that. And I was like, why does it matter to you? Why are you so angry about it? Why do you want so bad to I mean, like, what is the motivation here? And it was like what me and Josh were talking about. These people, they get so, yeah, we've heard this story before, blah, blah, because you don't have, it's the control over someone's story. Joe has told his story to Lance Hightower, who went and retold it, which is what I do. Me and Josh and Tony tell stories, or we have somebody come on the show and they tell a story, Bettina and everybody. That's what we do. At the end, we had a panel of the podcasters that were, and were being asked questions about Dogman and different things, and we gave our opinions, and it's like, but that's what we do. You can choose to believe or not believe. Nobody's forcing you. Nobody's putting a gun to your head and saying, hey, you need to listen to this. You need to believe this.
Right.
It's your choice, But it's so ridiculous when you get these people on there, like, what makes you so special? Blah, blah, blah. I'm going to do the voice that Josh says. What makes you so special? I can't do it like Josh Pinocchio does it. But, it's like, what? Nothing. There's nothing. I just do what I do. And I don't ever come out and tell everybody, oh, I'm the greatest thing since sliced bread. Have you heard about me? Yeah, I've never done that. But I do call a spade, and when people do what they do and say what they say, I'm going to call them out on it, dude. And I just got to the point where I was like, I'm just tired of it. I don't care anymore. Just take it. You can have it. But with you and with Ken and with everybody, and especially my wife and then my brother saying stuff and Bettina and them helping us, and Celine, I want to thank her too, for everybody that gave me kind of a pep talk and went and, said, don't stop, don't quit. And everybody at the conference was saying, hey, we heard you say that you were going to quit, during your last live stream, whatever. And I was like, yeah, I'm ready to just do something else. I'm going to write some books and just going to take it easy. And then just do my job, work. But at the end of the day, you guys brought me back, Barton. And then, of course, Nick Valenti, too, this morning. And it was... but, part of it, too, was to just stick around because I want to stick in their craw because they're so angry that I'm still here.
Well, you can't let them beat you. You can't let them defeat you. You're the GOAT, man. I mean, you do what you do. You're the king of the live stream. For sure. I mean, your live streams are just great. I try to never miss one, and I can vouch for your character. It's one thing to watch you on YouTube. It's another thing to spend 15 or 20 hours with you, and you get to know a person, and you're the most generous, intelligent, mental level intelligence with a heart as big as Texas, man. And anybody says anything different is just a liar, or they don't know you at all.
Yeah, they don't have any. They don't know anything about me, and they say the most ridiculous things, But Joe, meeting Joe was like that was awesome that you opened up and told us, that your story, and Joe, and when you told these story to people, you looked people in their eye, and you can tell that it wasn't some, make-believe playtime, whatever. And it's a different thing when you see people and look them in the eye and they can tell you their story.
That would be pointless. That would be pointless. You know, what's the reason for that? I don't know when that occurs, but you know, I just feel so much better after keeping that story. And I have told this like 4 years back, narration through another podcaster, but I did that and then I dropped it. I just dropped it, and it's been 4 years, and since I've been at the conference and, you know, and befriended you guys and everything, I'm so much lighter in that regard, you know, with this. It feels good. It really does. And just want to say that it helps. It's therapeutic, and, you know, I wish this conference was sooner.
Yeah.
You know,
right. Joe, you always have plenty of people to talk to now. You have plenty of family. Just look around you. The paratroopers. Josh made it real clear, real quickly to me at the conference that the paratroopers are really family, and they treat you like family. They want to support you. They want to hold you up.
I did experience that you know, type of feeling too. You know, that I totally felt at ease and like I was part of family. And Bart, you're one of them that was one of the most accommodating of anybody that, you know,
my pleasure. It was my pleasure and honor, and you are a part of the family now. So welcome to the PRT family.
And you know, that conference was like it was like the Avengers. I mean, I'm not trying to get all comic booky, but it was like the best of the best, and we got together and we were like the Avengers. We knocked it out of the park, and everybody there was an amazing. They rocked it. I think during the panel or whatever, Tony Merkel was just knocking it out of the park, you know. Yeah. Bettina told her story, Josh gave his opinions, and everybody, you know, it was awesome. I was so happy to go around and see everybody selling out of their books, the merchandise. People saying, man, I should have brought more books, you know. D.A. Roberts, D.A. Roberts and his son and his wife, they're some of the nicest people. I love D.A. Roberts. So cool. Ron Murphy, shout out to Ron Murphy, because when I was getting attacked, he was there kind of going, and Ron, I didn't realize he's feisty. You know, like Ron, he talks so intellectual and he's so cool. You know, Ron, I can't say that about Ron Murphy. He sounds like the professor scientist from The Simpsons. He's like, I love if you take the neutrons and the electrons, and he's so smart. But you know, when they were messing with me, you know, the other morning, I was delirious. I'd been up all night, you know, and you know, it was like, I just was like waiting for Ken to text me to make sure he was okay. I was like, okay, I'm gonna go to sleep, and then I couldn't sleep because I was, you know how you go too far without sleep and then you can't sleep. That's how I was, you know. And then I got the attacks, but Ron was right there. He was just like, you know. And then today I saw Holly Mangum, and I saw you, Barton, and I saw Bettina, and y'all just came out swinging, you know, like how dare you say all these things? And of course, VC was one of the causes of it. They're like, wow, I don't like the way he talks about VC. I didn't like the way he talked about me and my mother when she died. So how about that? I mean, I didn't like the way he had launched the attack on the day that she died. So how about that? You know,
despicable.
It's despicable behavior that gets excused and gets let out. You know, everybody just kind of lets it go, and this person continues to do and harm and do what they do, and they just keep going back. Give us Barabbas, you know, and whatever, or this babbling guy that we have in church. Anyway, I'm not going to get into that, but you know, that's what they want.
Well, I don't like it when people trash talk my friends. So I'm not going to, you know, stand for that. And if I can do anything to stop that, I will every time.
Mm-hmm. And I'll tell you right now, everybody at that conference, man, D.A. Roberts and Nick Valenti and Vault. I can't say enough about Vault. Vault and Nick doing the security with Starscream. I mean, they were on top of things, dude.
Yeah.
Vault caught a guy circling the place and acting weird, and he, snapped some photos and got rid of him and got him out of there, and then and then don't forget Elijah's birthday. Elijah's birthday was there at the conference, and Johnny Henderson's mother came and his sister came, and then we started talking about Johnny, and we were all in tears, and we started, and Johnny Henderson's mother told me that she absolutely loved talking to me and that he would talk about me as a friend, and it was just, we were in tears, and his niece started crying, and we all started crying, and then Elijah had his birthday, and he got to go up there and speak and give his presentation, and he was kind of like worried because his mother they had seen stuff before, and his grandmother didn't want to talk about it, because it's kind of scary to him, But and he was kind of worried, but he was like glad that there wasn't like a million people there to ask a bunch of questions at the end there, and then when it was all done and you guys had all gone to eat, which I don't blame you, y'all were tired, and Trey Felton, the catering, he had already left for the night, and
it was 9:00 at night.
Yeah, you were in there, and I was making you, I gave you the food, and you were making a sandwich, and then she comes up, and Letitia
grabbed me by my ear
the arms, and we're going to eat pizza,
and
and she's like, "Come on, Josh." I'm like, "No, I can't go. I got to stay behind to do this." And then, at the end there, I just was like, "Hey, you know what? If you want something, here it is," and then that somebody would take that photo of it and turn it into, we were at the end trying to make a fast buck and cashing in, and I'm like, what in the heck is wrong with these people? I just can't understand it.
Everyone can look and see the truth. So just look on the pages of the people that were actually there, if they have any doubt who to believe. Mm-hmm. I'm telling you right now, it was the greatest conference ever put together. You and Ken did a fantastic job. Getting to hang out with all these people, Josh Anocchio and Betty Moss and D.A. and Ron Murphy. He's such a cool guy. Lyle, and David Weatherly. Redford. It was just, man,
getting
it was
to meet Bass and Truth, Bass and Truth. They had,
Bass and Truth. I got to talk to them. Got to talk to little fishing with Bass.
And they were on the panel, and they talked about the implant in their leg and everything. I mean, it was just, the whole thing was amazing. And I just,
amazing.
But I think we may have set the bar too high. I don't know if we should ever top what we did. I don't know, but you can even come close to being it unless you had everybody come back. But David Weatherly messaged me the next day. Him and Lyle. They said it was the best time, the best conference. Everybody, sold out their merchandise, and Ron was
totally
just
great.
and I gave and I'm not throwing this out there for any other, but not one person asked for a fee to speak or anything, but I agreed. I said, "Look, I'm going to."
Because we love you, man.
Yeah, I paid everybody.
Our love for you, yeah.
Yeah, I paid every single.
You sure did, and you insisted that I take the money, and I could not believe it. You're so generous, man. I'm gonna tell everybody, all these PRT listeners here, Josh is so generous. Sunday morning before we left in his hotel room, he was giving me stuff. He gave me like a $500 bottle of cologne. He tried to give me his gold rings and everything. I'm like, no, brother, I don't need that. I don't wear jewelry. But but no one else in the country would have done that.
You don't got to say all that.
So
that's between us. I was trying to know your.
Everyone needs to know your true character. And
you said you like my ring, and so I thought it was.
And let me add too. I was a witness to all of this. Besides Bart, not only there was other people as well. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely. And it was great.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry that you had to come back from such an overwhelming success. This is way beyond anybody's wildest dreams, but I'm sorry you had to come back after driving all that way and working that hard for so long to come back to this negativity and outright lies that these people are telling on you. It made me mad as hell. And I'm telling you what, I was fighting mad when I saw your live stream saying you'd had enough and you was quitting. And I'm like, oh, hell no.
Because it just gets to the point where you're like, you can't. You can't do it anymore. I mean, it's like,
right.
Every time I turn around, there's somebody, and really, it just stems from, like I've said before, there's two people it stems from. And one of them, and I'm not talking about Voldemort, this one guy, I helped him build his group and everything else. But because my great sin was trying to leave his group because they were constantly attacking religion, and not just Christians, but anybody who was religious, and they were always attacking women. Every time a woman said anything, one of the people that came on my show, Brenda and Luke Tice, she had said something in the group, and they, and Dogman Whisperer jumped all over her, said a bunch of stuff, and then she kind of withdrew and was apprehensive to talk to me, and I said, look, I'd like to tell your story on my show or have you come on the show, and it happened, but it took a while because of that. It's like, dude, you can't, why did these people, and so I told this guy, I said, dude, I'll help you grow your main group, but I'm not going to be a part of this group anymore. So he ran and told Dogman Whisperer and, as I like to call him, Alice Smith from Australia, and they just launched an attack on me that went on and on and on, and that was the first one I endured, and I was like, and then my wife was in the hospital, and they were relentless, just nonstop, and then when I broke away from Voldemort, that's where the real hate came. It was just like venomous, just hatred, like, and I'm telling you folks, I'm here to tell you right now, it was like a light switch. I mean, it was like people that were just, we love you, Josh, you're great, you're awesome, well, I'm not going to work with him anymore. Slit, boom, that's over. The light switch went off, and it was like they just turned on me overnight. One woman in particular who was always so nice to me, she was going around all over the comments, two sides to every story, and she said it about 50 times, and I'm like, okay, there are two sides to every story. There's his side, and then there's the truth. And I couldn't believe it. How many people turned their back on me, and the hatred, the venom. I mean, it just pure venom hatred. I could feel it in their words. I mean, it went beyond anger. It was like some sort of psychosis that these people had. And it almost broke me to the point where I was hurt by the way they turned on me so quickly, because this man said something, and it was like a pack of rabid dogs. And when you're dealing with the death of your mother, and then all you got is hate, you're waking up to the hate messages, and you're blocking 1,000 people. It was just nonstop, saying the most vile things you can possibly imagine to me. And I'm going like, why is this happening? Because these people are so rabidly brainwashed by this, this person's fake, persona, and it went on and on and on and on. And you think at some point they'd get tired. No. I mean, it just, and some people are like, well, why do you talk about it? Because it hurt. And it took up a lot of my time. And it was months later that I remember just breaking down and crying, and my wife was there with me, and she's like, what's wrong? And I just, out of nowhere, but it wasn't just out of nowhere, it was a buildup, and I said, I'm grieving. I couldn't grieve because these people were constantly at my throat. And it was like, and say what you want about Dark Waters, but I'll say this, he went in there and stirred them, and got after them, and they all kind of turned on him for a little while, and it gave me a chance to come up for air and breathe. And that's one thing I'll always be grateful for him. He did do that.
Yeah.
He did go in and stepped in, and he said, look, I'm going to go in there and stir them, and get them all stirred up and let them come. Let me take some of the pressure off of you, because he could hear it in my voice. My voice was cracking, and I can't take this anymore, and he goes, dude, I'll go and I'll stir him up and I'll get him off you, and he was an ally in that. And Vault too, I can't thank Vault enough for helping me and sticking up for me and being brave and saying something, right. And so these people, they helped pull me, and encouraged me to keep going at that time, when I was just ready to just lay down and die. My mom had died, and these people had no mercy. And I tried reasoning with some of them too. I mean, it wasn't like, I was like, is there anything we can, how can we make, nope, you die and you go to hell and you die again. That's all it was. And you're just going like, terrible. Good God, dude. And so I just, and there were a few other people too that stepped up and they helped me. I mean, they got me through it, and it was just like, dude, and then ultimately, making peace with Marvin, and then Marvin telling his story of what he went through, and Bettina, and helping negotiate that peace between us, which made me and her friends for life. And
I love Betty. She's wonderful.
Mm-hmm. And I realized that Marvin had both of those individuals on him. Imagine having one demon on you, but imagine having two. And these two are the ones who have spawned all of my heartache in this field, pretty much. It's just them two.
Right.
But,
well, Josh, I hate that we had to go through that, but in a way I'm glad, because you're where you're supposed to be right now, and that all that puts you there. And anytime you feel overwhelmed by these mental midgets that come at you like that, lean on your friends like me and Betty Moss and Nick Bellini, all of us. Everybody there was your friend. I was really impressed with Walt. He really had his act together. I didn't know what to think about him. I listened to a couple of his shows and really didn't know what to think about him. But when you meet somebody face to face and you shake their hand and they look in your eye and they talk to you, you can read a person, right? And Walt was really impressed. I was really impressed with him. Really was. Impressed with everyone.
Yeah,
it was great.
Well, let me say something to you
too.
Yeah, Walt is he's a cool cat, man. The clever conquistador here.
A lot of help.
The clever conquistador here. He says, and he is really the clever conquistador. He always says funny stuff. Says DME has become so lulling and fake lately with the whole "let's befriend some Dogman" act, folks. That is it right there. That is it right there. And there's another individual who relentlessly attacked our friend, Linda Godfrey. And me and Barton, we were on the phone with Linda. And this woman is VC's big pal. They're pals, And she had a fake conference up there in Wisconsin, didn't even get 100 people because it's bullcrap. So anyways, that individual has gone out and she's been running around, running her mouth, attacking me forever. And it started with the action figure thing. She wanted to be an action figure. And I'm like, then go make yourself one. So she's like, always been on Vic's team anyway. So use that as a way in to come after me, And so this person did some really dastardly things to Linda. And that was verified to us by David Weatherly and Nick Redfern. That did happen. And so that is another one, she attacked. And I can tell you right now, nobody is immune from this. I mean, there have been a ton of people who've had, and some of the things that Linda had said that VC and this woman has done to her to break your heart. Because Linda's such a decent human being, and it was just like, dude. And so people think we're just up here talking trash and we're fighting with these people for no reason. Dude, you're trying to affect a change, and and they got together and they made a narrative. This person her name starts with a D, and this other person whose name starts with a V, and they're trying to create a narrative that Dogman is your friend. Dogman won't hurt you.
Right there.
And you're sitting here going like, Joe got attacked. I fully believe the thing that came toward me was going to attack me. And some of these people say, oh, well, they're just animals and blah, blah, blah. No, they're not. And usually when you shoot one of these things, when I get stories of them being shot, they may bleed, they may not. But sometimes just pieces of flesh will fly off of them and there's no blood. And you're going like, what is that? You can't sit here and tell me that these things, are just normal creatures. And Ken kicked off the conference with his explaining about these things and saying that he did not believe that they were an evolutionary animal. And I was like glad that he kicked the conference off with that. He goes, I'm going to tell you right now, and he did a tribute to Linda, and he said, these things are not animals. They're they're just not. I mean, he goes, here's a human, and he showed us the skeleton of a human, and it was a very informative thing. And I'm sitting there and I'm looking over and I'm like, this is exactly why. That's what needs to be said. These are not your friends, dude. You think that Joe is the only person that's been attacked by these things? You look at how many people go missing in these national parks, and look at the people that go missing in the LBL. Are you kidding me? To even think that, and I encourage everyone to go to Josh Nonocchio's YouTube channel and watch The Secrets of Yellowstone. Watch that video, and you tell me what you think. I mean, I just, it blows my mind. I can't wrap my mind around the insanity that, and this person, I knew his agenda was there all along, always trying to edit things and trying to get, I knew it was there, and now it makes sense. Like, he's got some sort of agenda, I guess, to make people believe that they're your friends or something, like happy tree friends or something. I'm like, what is this? This is ridiculous. And,
ridiculous.
I just, there are people who absolutely have been attacked by these things. Do you guys, I got you and Joe on here. Go ahead.
Martin Groves, Martin Groves, I mean, someone said that there was nothing new at this conference and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, that's crazy.
We have a 22-year veteran police officer standing up there giving his name and where he worked and his story that these inhumanoid creatures are working together, at least the Bigfoot and the Dogman, and told us all that 18 people have been killed down there by this creature. Now, somebody needs to do something. That's just, what else do you want from people? That he's risking everything.
And I'm going to have him come on the show, too. Me and Martin talked about that. He said, if you stay doing it, and Martin was like, if you stay doing it, and he goes, and I hope you do, don't leave us. And he was another one that told me. And he said, he goes, I want to come on and talk about this, and maybe we'll get him on real soon. But yeah, it just was like, I couldn't believe, that some of the things people were telling me who have been interviewed, and you're going like, how is this even possible that this person can sit here and say these most ridiculous things about how, well, they're not going to hurt you. Just go up to them and give them a pat on the head. It's all good.
It's just crazy. I mean, anybody should listen to that and immediately walk away from that channel. That should be all you need to hear from that person or whoever's putting out that stuff. Mm-hmm. Just walk away. And the only thing you could have done, Josh, to make this conference any better was to drag in the dead body of a dog man. What do people expect? This is the greatest conference of all time. I can't tell you how many people told me that Saturday night. They're like, man, we don't want this night to ever end. We don't want to leave. Everybody was like, I don't know. It was just a crazy good time. And congratulations to you and Ken for pulling this off. If it wasn't for you, Josh, you've never seen my name on any conference ticket before, and you never will again unless I'm asked to go there by you.
Well, I appreciate that. And let me ask you guys a question. Joe, what do you have to say to people who say that these things won't hurt you?
Well, I'll tell you, I get the best thing I can say is he wasn't begging for a milk bone. I know that. And I think it's in your best interest if you can protect yourself with some powerful weaponry when you're as much as possible. I think that's to me, that's what I do now. I carry heavier stuff than I used to. And I'm going into the woods now and doing things, and I'm trying to live my life without, as much fear, just being aware now, because I wasn't aware of it before, had no idea. These were things that were out there to be aware, to be on the lookout for. I know it's probably a rare incident like shark attacks, but you stay out of the ocean if you don't want to get bit either. So, I mean, just have the right precautions if you go into the water where sharks may be, or go into the woods where these things are that I know are there or could be there as well. So I guess that's about all you can do, is just protect yourself, be protected with some kind of weapon. That's the only chance you got. You can't do anything unless you have something for protection. There's nothing you could do. These things are insane. Even at that, I think you're going to be lucky, because I think a lot of them are that you see one. In my case, there was two that I never saw the second one. And there could have been more. I don't know, but I know the one.
Joe, didn't you tell me that second one drug the dead body of the one you shot into the woods? I remember you telling me that.
Evidently, I didn't witness that. That was done before I got back around. But the people that were telling me it was, that were there, they were telling me it was a couple bears, scrapping or whatever, and because they didn't.
Jeez,
they didn't. Want to tell me that they actually saw what I know had happened, but they didn't know I probably had anything to do with whatever was happening that they saw.
And you think they were local boys, and that's why they got there so fast?
That's what I speculate, yeah. And, there's these ideas that go around that these things are chipped too and everything, and, they're being monitored and everything. I don't know, but I have no idea. But, I just know that obviously the thing was right there in plain sight in the weeds, as stiff as a board when I left down the road and come back around, and I just see a swath of weeds, like 10 foot wide into the woods, and that was all that I saw with those people there.
No blood?
And, I didn't see any blood. I didn't really pay attention that much. I was kind of focused on the people that were there, and I was kind of worried about them. I'm like, what are you doing? Are you stupid? I don't know. You need to get out of here. I was coming back to run. I was coming back around to run the thing over with my truck to make sure. That's what my intention was.
I would too.
Yeah.
I don't play around with these things. I've seen one up close, and it doesn't. Mine looked just like a giant wolf on two legs with an upper body like a man. It was just
exactly what mine was.
Yeah. People say, you saw this, you saw that. No, dude. And my friend was with me, and his family saw it too. So there were like six of us all together. But I don't think his younger brother remembers it, because he was real little, and I think he kind of blocked it out. He just remembers something bad happening and having bad dreams. But everybody else remembered it pretty clearly, and we were questioned, and we've never, strayed from what we saw. We never said, oh, yeah, well, you know what, let me change the story. It was breathing fire, and then, no, and then it is what it is, and I thought it was going to kill me. And my fifth or fourth cousin, I guess she'd be, saw it later on that year. And the strange thing is, my wife saw hers that same year. I don't know if that was year of the Dogman or what, but a lot of people saw it that same year. I've gotten lots of stories, and whenever somebody tells me in 1990, I'm like, oh, my ears perk up, because that's when I had mine. So maybe I just noticed those accounts more than the others because of the year. But I do know that I have had many, many people tell me that, oh, yeah, well, this happened in September 1990. I'm like, what? You're going oh, this happened in October 1990. I'm like, that's when I had mine, So you kind of remember those. I guess maybe that's what it is. But, it just seemed like that year there was a lot of them. And like I said at the conference, Linda was one of the first people I corresponded with. And, for that other person to come up and be like, well, that's actually my work and blah, blah, blah. Which I don't remember talking to you and giving you a story or going back and forth with you 10 years ago. Okay, so I don't know what you're talking about. So you can shut your pie hole. I got a song I wrote. It's called Shut the Hole Under Your Nose, Shut the Hole Under Your Nose. I don't know if that's a good one. I don't know if it's going to be a number one or anything, but I think that
sounds like a hit to me.
Yeah, I need a banjo. But I just got, so aggravated. And then when I ate dinner in Mineola at the Southeast Bigfoot conference with Nick Redfern, and Redfern looked me right in my eye and said, "That's exactly what she did." I know she's not lying. She didn't lie to us, Barton. She's a good person that didn't lie.
Right.
And her journalism, Lyle was talking about various authors, nothing bad, at all, because Lyle doesn't talk crap about people. But we were talking, and he was talking about Linda, and he said that her style of writing, her journalistic style, because he's an English major, where he got a degree in English, and he was like, dude, her writing is great. And I can tell you right now, if you haven't read Hunting the American Werewolf, go read it. And Seth Bree loves movies too. He's good friends with Lyle. Seth makes good films. Go watch American Werewolves. Elijah Henderson's there. He's in it. Elijah, I love him like a little brother. He's such a good kid. Him and Gabby are just like, you just want to hug them. They're just,
right.
And I did hug them, but they're just such good kids. They're not kids. They're in their 20s, but like they're good kids, like I'm just like my nephews, the same thing. It was like I was surrounded by love the whole time, just great people. Everybody was cool. D.A. Roberts, and his son was there. He's got a gaming channel, and he's funny as heck and making me laugh, and we were just rolling, dude. It was so funny. Shout out to Michelle Milner. She was there at the conference, and just everybody that was there, Kevin Panay and Melissa, that I interviewed them, or interviewed him on the Hawaiian episode. Juan Arturo, he was there.
Oh my goodness. Let me say something about Arturo. Mm-hmm. He is such a fantastic person. He came up to my wife, Letitia. He was so happy. He said it was like he was in some kind of storybook or something. He took my wife, Letitia, and just danced with her and started twirling her around. It was just crazy fun, And
until you grabbed Nightmare and threatened to kill him because you were jealous. We're not going to talk about that.
No. Oh, it was just great to see people that happy. I don't think I've ever seen that before.
And then Barton had us all go into his hotel room and take pictures with his weapons.
Yeah, they were like a big hit. And I want to say
funny, you were like Bettina with the sword. It was like it was the funnest time ever, dude.
It was great, man. So I got to apologize to Betty's husband, Mark. He come around there, and Betty and Letitia and I went, and a couple.
Are you talking about Shoddy Boy? That's not her husband. That's her boyfriend. But Shoddy Boy, he's got a show too.
Great fellow,
nice guy.
But we went to the room and we was taking pictures with Betty, and she was doing all the swords and spears and tomahawks, And before we knew it, we were in there for like over an hour. And her husband or her boyfriend, her fiance, didn't even know where she was at. So I apologize to you, Mark. We were in there just holding swords and spears and just having a great time. And next time you can come, just please come with us.
Couple things from the question here for Joe from the live chat here. It says, that's Bettina, I think. It says here, she wants to know about the loud noise, Joe. What does that mean?
Loud noise, you mean from a shot inside a cab? Oh, yeah, that was ear-ringing experience for a while. Yeah, I guess if that's what she's referring to.
Yeah. You said, please ask the guests about the loud noise.
I think she might be referring to Martin's story where he heard the loud mechanical noises. Oh. So there's another one we got. So I'm going to try to get Martin on Betty's show Friday, and maybe he can come on to your next live stream, brother. And he said, if you don't believe Martin and Joe, and if they can't change your mind about the reality of these creatures, nothing ever will. Short of them just eating you, coming out of the woods, grabbing you and eating you, and then you'll know for sure. But if you can't believe people like Martin and Joe, then I don't know what to say to you.
We're just alive to tell the story. I could have been a statistic.
Yeah.
I really believe I could have been.
Yeah, I remember interviewing a guy who stopped at a rest stop in New Mexico, or not a rest stop. It was like an abandoned gas station or something, and one of these things tried to, come after him, and then there was the guy out, and me and Lyle talked about this case on the way back. We were talking about cases and stuff, and there was the case of Haskell Rascal, where this werewolf dogman looking creature swam across the lake at these guys while they were fishing Lake Stanford. And I say it's the Haskell Rascal because I think the description fits. It's like a Bigfoot with a muzzle. It's like a gugwee, and he said that part of the mouth was like gone, But that was a hard interview because the guy's watching NASCAR and he's like, look, And he's not an easy guy to interview. And that's what me and Lyle were talking about, people that are hard to interview. And I've had people be on there in the background talking, and they're talking to someone else and kind of halfway talking to you, and then you're just like, dude, come on. And then one guy just decided to pop off some rounds, and I had the speaker playing in my truck, and it was just like, pow, 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 pow. That was when I was doing the Hernandez Ranch, and me and my brother like, dude, what, gosh, dude, what the heck is wrong with this guy? Because it was, what y'all probably know him as Jerry, his uncle, who was a Vietnam vet, and he's like, I use those to kill these things, like, blah, 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 and I'm like, okay, all right. But it was just, you're sitting there going, like, you're trying to interview these people, and they are making it really not easy, Another thing cool, too, I got to see the cover of and to see what it looked like of Lyle's new book. I'm not going to say the name of it or anything else but I had gone upstairs to the restroom at his house, and we all got together when we got back to Fort Worth, and Lyle was showing us the new book, like he'd gotten the first copy, whatever. So I'm excited about that. I can't wait to read it and then have him come on and talk about it. But I had a great time, man, with everybody. And then getting, when Ken was doing the presentation, I was sitting, I think I was sitting like right next to, I don't know where I was. I think I was sitting at Lyle's spot. But Ken was doing the Thunderbird presentation, and when that picture came up, because it's something that me and David Weatherly had talked about on the live stream, and we saw the big bird, Thunderbird, whatever, I looked over at David, and we kind of smiled, and then when he said it may be some kind of Mandela effect, we both kind of pointed, we're like, hey, because we talked about that on my show. A couple years ago. It was like, we talked about that being a possibility because we both remember it. And I said I thought it was in Fate magazine, and David was like, no, it's not, because I used to read it. And I said, yeah, I've been reading Fate magazine since I was like, in my late teens or whatever. But, because prior to me seeing that creature when I was 15, I had no interest. I'm like you, Joe. I had no interest in this stuff. I didn't care about it. The only thing I knew about werewolves was like The Howling or something. Like that may have been the only movie I'd ever seen about werewolves. I don't even know. I had no interest in that at all.
Me either. The only thing I can say that I never saw the movie Van Helsing, but that black one is the closest. I guess I could say it looks like, even though I never saw the movie, I saw pictures and clips of that werewolf that someone had showed me, and I would say that was the closest thing that you could get to it in Hollywood that I've seen. That it's different a little bit, but it's 95%, I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did it have the lupine legs? The dog legs, or did it have man-like legs?
Yes. No, it was dog-like legs. Human type size, but knee from the knee down was all like had two different joints, like a dog would.
Yeah.
So I could see that in my rearview mirror when he was like stiff, I could see the rest of him, and he had a huge mane too, like it sort of was like a small cape. It was across the back of his neck and his head and his shoulders. Was just but it was even more so than that one in Van Helsing. It was a bigger mane and like a cape type thing, and it was. Yeah, it was pretty close. That one is as close as if you want to take a look at that, I can describe it being a little shorter muzzle, but wider and wider head, but pretty damn close. Yeah.
Did he have a tail, Joe? Did you notice if it had a tail or not?
Yeah, it did. It had a tail. Yeah. It was all black. Everything was black. I saw the whole body in my mirror, and it was solid black.
So, all right, guys. So we're going to wrap it up. But before we go, I want to thank you, Joe, for coming on. I want to thank Barton for coming on and co-hosting with me here, and maybe become a regular thing.
Anytime, brother.
Yeah. And so definitely going to do some work. I'm going to put some work in and Hellbent Holler, thank you for being in the chat. It was great to meet you guys, Jesse and Joe. Go check out their channel. And I love to promote other people's work, too. I'm not greedy. Like, there's some people like, mine, it's my precious, it's my stories. I don't give a crap, dude. Everybody, because I promise you, folks, I don't do this for the money. This show does not pay for this watch. Okay? Trust me. All right? It's just, I'm just being honest. I don't do this for the money. I don't need the money. I dropped $24,000 on this conference, or $26,000 now, after paying everybody. And I only made about 18, 19 back. So I'm in the hole for it. But so what? People came and they had the time of their lives. I just didn't like being attacked. And who does? And people always try to trivialize it, like, why do you care? Oh, well, when your mom dies and somebody sicks an army of trolls on you, then you come back and tell me how you feel. Or you come home and your pets are dead, and and then you tell me to just take it easy and be, oh, you know what, just let it roll off your back. It's okay. Just let it go. It's okay. Go talk to your therapist. Yeah. If I talk to my therapist about everything that I have to deal with, they would probably want to gargle Drano after they finish talking to me. And then I'd be responsible for that. They'd be like, Josh Turner made his therapist kill himself, or herself, whatever.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. No one's made of steel, brother. And everybody has feelings. And even me, when people talk about me, it kind of hurts my feelings, but I realize that these people will always be around. And there's nothing I can do to make them go away. And there's nothing they can do to make me go away either. So
no. Keep
that mindset. And brother, you're at the top right now. I'm telling you, I've never had such a great experience and Letitia too. And according to the hundreds of people that walked up to me afterwards, we never had such a great experience as we did at that big Dogman hootenanny.
Yeah, and everybody was stoked about it. And on the way down there, I asked Lyle, because we rode together, and I said, "Are you excited for it?" And he goes, "Are you?" I said, "Yeah." But Nellie and me were just kind of like, we just want this to go well and for it to be over, because we were so tired and so exhausted, But it was like it went beyond our wildest expectations. I mean, it was
mine too.
The funnest. I mean, it was the best conference. Everything was smooth. Everybody had fun. Everybody got a bunch of stuff. And it was just like, dude, like me and Lyle were talking about this. And the people that want to talk about us making money, like we're all a bunch of rich people, we're not. We're not. And Lyle said something that really stuck with me, and I'm going to say this because he said, these people think that we're supposed to do everything for free. He's like, you're taking your time to do this. And me and Bettina had the same conversation earlier. And you're not, I would give everything. And Lyle said, if I was a millionaire, I'd host conferences and just spend tons of money on this stuff and not make anybody pay for anything. But he's like, you take your favorite snack. Say this is what Lyle said. He said, say you like Fritos. Well, I like Fritos. Why don't you just give them to us for free? Why don't you just provide those for free? Because I like to eat them. Why are you charging me for what I like to eat? You don't go into the grocery store and grab a bag of chips and a soda and be like, hey, I like these, so see ya. Oh, you're going to charge me for this? Why, that's ridiculous. Why would you do that? I like shit,
Outrageous.
Because that, you have to make a living. I mean, that's all there is to it. But I don't need the money. I don't do this for the money. And these fools that say these ridiculous things, it blows your mind, dude. And Joe, you were there, just like, and Barton and all y'all. And we had the time of our lives, and,
Oh, I had an absolute blast. Best time I've had since I can remember.
Yeah.
Me too. I can't remember a better time than that.
It was like one big party, and then there was another party afterwards, and it was just, it was just so,
yeah.
it was so great, and then it was just, but anyways, I'll let you guys go, and then so I can get, but thank you guys for being on the show. Don't be a stranger, Joe. Okay.
Yeah, no, I won't. It's my pleasure, and everybody there, especially you, and Barton, Nunley, you guys. I consider you lifelong friends now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you're your friends.
Yeah, and that means a lot,
Yeah, so
so it's great. It was great, Joe, meeting you. I'm so glad we did, and so glad that we exchanged numbers immediately. As when we ate dinner together, and I just want to shout out to all the paratroopers and all my friends that are listening in tonight. You got a bunch of people coming in to support you, Josh, and I want to say to everybody that's your detractors, especially go eat cake somewhere and listen to Betty Moss's next live stream. I think she's going to clean house
tomorrow night, and she wants us to be there
tomorrow night.
So I think me and you are going to be there, Barton. So
I'll do anything to help my friends. Everybody knows this about me. I value my friends because they're so few. Good friends in life you can usually count on one hand, but now I need 400 fingers to count on my good friends.
That's
so
right.
I'm blessed to be a part of your shindig there, brother. And
get that book
if you want
written.
to, I'll be happy to do the next one. I'm going to. Yeah,
you got to get that book written. Talk about this stuff. And so, all right, Joe, thank you for coming on and being a guest.
Absolutely,
anything you need,
pleasure.
you have my number. You have my personal number. Like most of the guests who've been on my show, they have my personal number. And Barton, me and you talk like all the time. So I'll see you tomorrow. Now, so Joe, thank you so much for coming on. All right, guys, I'll see you.
Yeah.
Okay. Have a good night, everyone.
All right.
Good night.
Good night.
Bye.
Bye. So Joe got attacked. They tried to attack him, but he took care of business. I mean, Barton, great guy. Been friends, and just he was exactly what I expected. It was just like he was when we talked all the time on the phone. It was no different. I had met Lyle and Ken multiple times, so that wasn't those old hat. But we getting to ride with Mr. Blackburn, both 14, however was it, like 10 hours, to 20 hours in a vehicle with him, and got to know his whole story. I mean, and he's freaking amazing, awesome dude. And just getting to know all the people that we got to know. Now, somebody was saying on here about a conference on the West Coast. I'm going to say something. That would be fine, but you're only going to get people from the West Coast. It's going to be very hard to get people. Now, I did have a couple that came from Alaska to the conference. They were from Alaska. I had a couple from California. People came from, like Joe, came from Michigan. I had somebody from Vermont and somebody from Seattle. It was crazy. So you might get that, but you're going to have to, in order to make it work, hit me up. If you're West Coast cryptids, it was West, whatever it is, it's called West Coast, whatever. Get in touch with me so we can talk. And Hellbent and Holler, Jesse and Joe, get in touch with me so we can talk, because I'm going to go ahead and stick around for a while, since these people, and what's so silly and funny about this whole thing is you had me. I was on the ropes. You had me. You were this close. I was almost gone, out of your hair. But you just got greedy. And you had to push. And you pushed me, and I just bounced back like a rubber band. And so now you have to deal with me. So, the pep talk from my brother really cemented it. My wife was just kind of like, whatever you want to do, honey, you know, and whatever. And if she would have been real anti, you know, like, hey, you know, we're not going to do this, then that would have been it. And then them saying that I sent my wife to fight my battles and that I was hiding behind her skirt. And my brother was like, you know what, dude? He goes, we don't run in this family, you know. Even though I'm the younger brother, you know, I was always the one that fought. He was the musician. He could fight, but he had other skills. My skill was just doing this, you know. But I did it well. Enough to where people paid me for years to teach them. And this guy says he's going to teach me a lesson. Boy, you're going to teach me a lesson? What do you think this is, dude? Sesame Street? You're going to teach me how to count? You can go to any gym or dojo in this city and say wolf. That's all you got to do. Just walk in there and go wolf. And people will know who I am. And you're going to teach me a lesson. I think you're going to learn a real lesson. You know what I'm saying? Like the guy, you know, he's going to learn a lesson. Like when I circled trees with red ink. Shut up. If you teach me that lesson, you'll be the first one to teach me that lesson in 30 years, boy. So shut up. You ain't going to teach me nothing I don't already know. Why don't you ask people that I've taught and trained? Now, if you want to apologize and come here and act accordingly, I'll actually train you how to do something. But you won't, so I don't got to worry about having to do that. Because y'all never do. And if you were willing to apologize and we could just go our separate ways, I'd forgive and forget. You walk your way, I go mine. But I'm not going to sit here and be threatened and berated, and then you flip the script and say, I threatened and berated you. And I posted a video of me on a speed bag, so I'll show you how slow I am. Moron. You're not getting rid of me that easy. We're going to do this, and I'm gonna make the Friday show is going to be on hiatus for a while, but we're going to do the Tuesday live stream. And I decided, and I'm going to record a whole bunch, and then I'm going to do a massive drop. Chat would like that. Tell me if I recorded 12 episodes and I just dropped them all at once, would you guys listen to it, or would it be a waste of my time? You know, would you guys be able to go in there and listen to them all back to back to back? Would you like that? Because I was thinking about doing a 2-week project of furiously just catching up, getting Albert Rosales on here. We've been trying to hook up and get this done. Lauren Coleman. I was supposed to record with Lauren. I apologize sincerely to you. You are a legend, and I want to record with you. And we were supposed to do it after Father's Day, like you said. I got a project I want to do with Chris Garitano. If you don't know who that is, look him up. A lot of big names, good people, though. I mean, it's not about their names, but they're good at what they do. And so, and I'm thinking about just recording a big 12-episode drop and just dropping it, you know. So you guys let me know. I mean, these people, dude, I mean, it's just, they get to you. Bruce Hayes, good to see you, man. Good to see you in the chat. Forrest Groves, it's awesome. Holly, thank you for being here. Amy, everybody, Artistic Bunny, Overbuilt Motor, Automotive, you know. I thought I really, in all honesty, did not think I'd be sitting here. I didn't think I would be, but I'm here. And, you know, like I was talking with Ken earlier today, and I said, you know what? It's going to cause some people to jump for joy and others to gnash their teeth, but it is a fact that I am here. And you still haven't knocked me out. So, you know, keep trying. You're just going to strengthen me. because I know I got people around me that care, and I have a super duper cadre of friends. My wife, very supportive. And if I did hide behind her skirt, she could still take you. So I wouldn't, you know, my wife's, she's feisty. She's going to defend her man. That's what I love about her. I didn't ask her to go fight. She just did it. You know, when they attacked, you know, Ken and Nick and that group, I wasn't even part of that. But Ryan, Scorpion, and in particular Nelly got on there and just tried, you know, and a few other people just went to town on this dude. They had to get medieval on his hiney. You know, but these people, it's like they think that I'm just sitting here, you know, making a bunch of money off of this show, and once again, I've gotten over on everybody. I'm making a ton of money off of these people and their story, you know. Meanwhile, at the Legion of Doom, you know, like I'm orchestrating this all. This is what we're gonna do, guys. And we're gonna take the money, see? You know? Like a bunch of Dick Tracy villains and stuff. Prune Face, you write the next book. You know, Flat Top, you go. You take the Tommy gun. Let's get these people. You know, I don't know what these people are thinking, dude. You know, they want me to be their villain. Whatever, dude. Whatever makes your choo-choo run. But you want to get rid of me? Leave me alone. Maybe I'll get bored and go away. But when you mess with me, it just hardens my resolve. You know? Legion of Wolf. Yeah, exactly. It's just ridiculous. So tomorrow night, we're going to do it up on Bettina's show. I'm supposed to be on there tomorrow. So you guys can check in. We're going to talk and do some stuff on there. Let me tell you something. B-Moss isn't somebody to be messed with. Okay? I know, because I went toe-to-toe with her during the whole Marvin, you know, and she defended Marvin. And it was, you know, when we put it together, and I told Marvin, I said, dude, you have two demons on you. And I'm not talking about demons. Like, I'm talking about two people who are very bad. And they were playing him. And then I felt bad. I was like, this man, I mean, I'm not saying he was innocent, but he wasn't. It just they messed with him. People ask me, why could you make peace with them? And be like, because when somebody is like that, you don't, you go for the source. So anyway, her show is Crypto Normal with B Moss. You guys, we'll post a link to the show tomorrow in the Paranormal Round Table group. If you're not in the Paranormal Round Table group, you better go join. Also, we hit 18,900 subs on YouTube. So that's good. What was that? Hold on, the phone's ringing. Hello? Oh, yeah, the show's almost over, yeah. Oh, really? Okay. That was this guy. He just found 15 Dogman in his backyard. He's going to post it in the group, and he's going to circle it with red. He said it just happened right now while we were talking. 15 Dogman, folks. Phone's ringing again. Hold on. What? Yes? Let me put you on speaker. Hold on. Let me put you on speaker. So then I was there, and I just see like another Bigfoot, and it just jumped from the tree, and then it pulled up the tree, then it threw the tree, and the tree did go through the air, and the tree did hit the Dogmans, and the Dogmans, they did fall down, and then the Dogmans pick up the tree, and they did throw the bag to the Bigfoots, and then the Mothman came. Oh, really? So what did you do? Well, because I was like angry because, you know, I'm like, why are you in my yard? Why are you all in my yard? Get out of my yard. So, because I was like, you know, in the army and I was good in doing stuff. So I went out there and I beat them all up because I got big arms. And I went out there and I was like, boom, boom. And they did fall down because they're slow. I'm really fast. They're slow like you, Wolf. Well, I don't consider. Yeah, you're slow. Oh, okay, all right. Can I say something? No. Goodbye. Jeez, the conversation. Well, there you have it. I'm very slow, but I'm glad that he was able to get rid of the Dogman's Bigfoot and Mothman in his backyard. He wasn't going to listen to me, folks. I tried talking to him. You see that? And I'm deeply concerned. I am terrified of having to face this man if he wants to physically harm me. Look at my face. Look at my face. Do you see how scared I am? Sheer terror. Look closely. You see the fear? I'm scared out of my mind. Let me tell you something. Have mercy on me. I can't tell you how grateful I am for this break you're going to give me. And not beat me up. Dogman wants his... I don't know. It could be. Kevin Panay says, now I'm scared. I'm scared right now. Kevin, hold my hand. I'm scared right now. Gonna have the snot coming, going up. Dude. Oh, dude. I'm terrified, dude. I'm terrified. Look at me. I'm scared. I'm only laughing to hide my insecurity because I'm afraid. Don't you know that? Terrified. The worst part is these people live in Texas. They live down the road. Ooh, I'm so scared. That's why I got this. Got it right here, folks. Look at this. And I'm ready. Look at this. I got this helmet. I'm ready. Good night for the crows. Josh Turner's a chicken. He's brandishing a sword. He needs a weapon. He can't fight with those hands because he's too slow. Oh, phone's ringing again. Hold on. Yes. Oh, they're back? They're back. How many? 28? What? Are you... No. Wow. Hold on, let me put the speaker. And then, what I did, I went out there to mark my territories, and so I did go and I peed on the tree. And then the Dogman got real mad, and I said, you know what, I'm going to beat you up now. So I tore off his jaw, and I used that jaw to kill the others and all the Mossmans, too. Right. Did you say Mossmans or Mothman? Mossmans. Okay, Mossmans. Okay, whatever. And don't make fun of me on your show. I'll come and I beat you up. Too late. Okay, well, I'm going to let you go. Okay. It's too late, folks. I'm doomed. I am just... I can't tell you how terrified I am. Let me read the comments because I want to make sure that I'm getting this correctly here. Folks, this guy just had 28 of them. I think they parachuted in from above. I think the Mothman may have been dropping them in, but he's going to go on to our group, and he's going to circle them in red. So you will see all of the Dogman goodness in the circles. Yeah. It's really ridiculous, though. People don't believe him when he does that. It's about as believable as Juan Valdez. You remember Juan Valdez? You know who Juan Valdez was? He was the fake mascot guy that they actually, every morning in the early Colombian morning, Juan Valdez gets up with his trusty burro to pick the freshest damn bean. And you're going like, he lives in Colombia, and he's planting coffee. It's not what his neighbors are planting. Hey, Juan, nice burro. Look at my Bronco. Cloud of dust. I don't care. I'm here to plant coffee for the world. By hand, me, one guy. And you're like, oh, that's totally believable. You know? And Popeye's chicken sandwich was the best thing that had ever been invented. I took a bite of one the other day and I was like, what is this? This is the big deal? No offense to Popeyes, but I mean, they have good chicken, but like that chicken sandwich, I don't eat it because it's fried stuff or whatever anymore. But I had to eat part of, something because that's all we had. And so I took a bite of it and I was like, what is this? This is the big deal? Delicious. It was yummy going down. No, it wasn't. The best chicken sandwich ever, somebody told me. That's about as believable as Juan Valdez and the 28 Dogman in the picture that you just circled the red circles on. And he told me, you better not say nothing about me. Because I'll come up to Austin, I'm going to do this and do that. And when he's... Yikes! Zoink, Scoob! Oh my God! What are we gonna do? Terrified! Ah! I hope he didn't beat me up and embarrass me in front of all my fans. But I don't want to fight in front of my fans because you might not look at me the same if you see me do something to somebody. There'll be circles of red in another way. Chris Anderson says, this is PRT. Are you not detained? Yeah, it's a bit much. He really takes credibility away from the crypt to fill with all the red circles and Clint. Yeah, because I had somebody tell me back when I was still okay with this guy, because, I just told him I didn't like Vic and I wasn't going to have him on my show, and he was just, whatever. But they were like, look at how ridiculous you are with this. And they used him as an example, showing the pictures of the circles. And I'm like, come on, Jack Ball. And you want to talk about my theories being crazy and ridiculous? So anyways, go to Paranormal Round Table group. He made a post. And so I cleaned it up as best I could, and it's under my name. But anyway. And I never attacked this guy's son. I didn't even know he had a son. He said I attacked his son. I'm like, what? And I've never been to Elms Grove. I've never been there in my life. And he claims that Armando did. And Armando, I'm pretty sure he met him because I think he said something about meeting this guy. But I'm pretty sure he thinks he's crazy. Or I say he thinks he's passed away, but he thought he was crazy, I'm like, dude, and this guy's over here talking all this. Don't talk about my friend. He was my friend, okay? And we talked. And when he passed, his wife came to me and told me he had passed, and, yeah, amazing dumb. It's amazing dumb. Anyways, folks, that's it for tonight, you know. Yeah, Artistic Bunny, never speak ill of the dead. I mean, you know, I'm not one of these people that when someone passes, they become a saint. Because if they're bad, they're bad. Joseph Stalin died. Well, he was a snappy dresser. You know, what can you say? I've been to funerals where people are just grasping at straws to try to say something good about somebody. They're like, he paid his taxes, he picked up his dry cleaning. I don't know, whatever. But Mondo wasn't a bad guy. And he had his reasons for turning the back on the show. He had lots of things he had to deal with. But his claims of what he told him and whatever, it was just nonsense. So anyways, folks, Chris Anderson, they parachuted in from above. Yeah, that's what they did. Don't you know that? They had little parachutes. And in each parachute, there was a lizard with a backpack. It was the amazing dumb assault. He goes out there, bang, 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 shooting all these Dogmans, man. Ah, boom, 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 boom. The police come. Sir, you shot up, 5 trees. You killed some birds. Your shed is full of bullet holes. Do you have anything to say for yourself? Look at my pictures with the red circles, and you will see. These were shape-shifting demons from a parallel universe. Mossmans and Dogmans and Big Feet. Make sure you also shot the neighbor's cat. Collateral damage. All right, guys. I'll see you later. Y'all have a good night. We'll see you next week, because I'll be here. Still pissing people off. Nina Sinclair, the UK has the coffee commercial for a coffee brand called Kenco. The guy crushes each coffee bean between his fingers. There's one. We got 9,585 of these bags to fill. This might take a while. There's 2. Still more believable than the red circles. Anyways, guys, we have fun here. I'll see you. Yeah, boy. You want to bring the heat with these posts you're making? I'm about to drop science on your head like Carl Sagan. I'll see you.